Hello and welcome to MBKM Models. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and follow for more great aircraft documentaries and model build videos. I've come into a close with this model. I've been building this since last September and a lot of research and development. I didn't want to cut the deck, so I wanted the deck to come off, which would give me more room for the electronics and the motors. So I had to find the right way of putting it on and off, and what I've done is used nylon nuts and bolts. I had to change the size on them. I wanted them inobtrusive and small, but that was no good. The thread on the nylon bolts would just wear out. I redid the camo on this one. I'm very pleased with the way that the camo has come up on redoing it. I mean, saying redoing it, I mean I repainted it, which I am very pleased with. Now, I've ran some clear matte paint spray on it. It's a graffiti spray, which I get at a local shop. You can see it here. And this is clear matte coat. Hopefully that will seal it all for going into the water. I've already done an open water trial, which was okay, but it took a lot of water in, and I came back from that. That's the whole point of the trial. Fitted a rubber membrane, but sadly the rubber membrane was too thick, and what I've done is gone for a cotton membrane. Now, what I'm hoping for is the cotton will get wet, however it will absorb and swell, because this is what they use on real wooden boats. They put cotton packing in between, especially if I can't think of the name of it now, clinker built hull. Between the planks they'll put cotton, which swells and stops it leaking, which is a very old time method. So what I've done is tried to employ that method on here, and underneath the deck is a cotton membrane. There's a separate video about the cotton membrane, but like I said, I redid the camera and I'm really pleased with it, the way it's come up, because it was all a bit dull and dowdy before, and now it's looking as I want it to look, and I hope you're all happy with it as well out there. The immense job of finishing a model off. There's one thing building it, there's one thing fitting it with radio control, and then there's all the finishing touches and making it look presentable. Now hopefully we're getting somewhere. However, I had a few issues on the flag. It just didn't go well. I hope you can see this. I sprayed matte coat on it, like not a varnish but a matte coat acrylic, and it shrank and distorted a little bit. Painted it with that because it's going to go on the water. There's already a couple of videos on here with water trials. So what I've done is effectively found one online, a Stars and Stripes flag, and then I've reduced it, which took me about 90 minutes. Not the easiest task in the world, but now we have it. So I've reduced the flag to something which looks like a USA Stars and Stripes, and hopefully it will come better. I'm not going to paint this one. I'm not going to protect it, because now I've got it saved on the computer. I can, anything goes wrong with it, with water, etc., I could just print off another one. I tend to be quite hard on myself over models. Now I've got the servo fitted into the boat, and I'm now doing a water test. Obviously I've got my Pulse 2 channel. I've got the servo, I keep saying that, servo. I've got the SC up and running. There is a time delay before forward and reverse. It's not instant, but let's just try and take it forward. That's reverse. There's a time delay on it. There we go. And then a couple of seconds. And then backwards. So there it is working. There's the rudder. I won't run it too fast because I did this before by accident, and it tends to push the water back at such a rate it comes over the stern. There we go. So there we are. It's fitted. It's working. A lot of comments on Amazon about this particular ESC that comes in with no instructions. It's not the easiest ESC in the world. However, I have got it working on brush motors. You can see it there flashing away. I've got in one of my other videos there two S1 lipos wired in series. They're both 3.7. It gives not an exact 7.4, it's actually under 7.4. But if you're, as opposed to aircraft with a small boat like this, the power you got is fine. I mean, I've got twin 3-volt motors in it, the cheapy ones from the, I keep calling them cheapest, but they're good. I mean, for a model this size, they're excellent. They're fine. The next kit conversion I'm going to build more than likely is an e-boat. I've got the old Airfix kit from about 20 years ago. Airfix, if you're watching this, why did you discontinue your well-back launches and things? I love them. Get them back. I'll buy one. In all of it, the e-boat is next. I may try and build a small gearbox for the e-boat. This one is direct drives, but I really could try do it. I bought some plastic gears from Amazon the other day, so I really want to try making a little, you know, where you've got a big gear wheel on the motor and then smaller gear wheels on the drive shaft. And also I'm going to make a drive shaft out of copper tubing with, I can't think of the name of it now, it's very hard black plastic material to go inside it. They sell it all local model shop, so I'm probably going to do that. I could do with a smaller receiver, but they're expensive. They are very expensive, micro receivers. They're not cheap. I could have done with, you can see the server in here, that's a micro. I've ordered some lateral linear servos, which are far smaller, far lighter. With this 1/72 scale conversion, you are literally fighting, like the aircraft, against weight, because any weight in that hull pulls it down. You don't have a lot of displacement to play with. Now, displacement, what happens is, if I had a flat piece of plastic, it would probably float on the top. But say this was made of metal and I had a flat piece of metal, it would sink. However, if I beat that flat piece of metal out into the shape of a hull of a boat, it will float because it displaces its own weight in the water because of its shape. It makes it buoyant. Talking about buoyancy, I need to put some foam or some expanding foam. I've got some here, some polystyrene foam in the bow. Should worse happen and you get water in, it will float. Probably spent about 3 weeks drying it all out. But I'm quite pleased with this. It's ESC. It's not the easiest in the world. Like you say on Amazon, it comes in with absolutely no instructions. What I did is track down a similar looking ESC and had a look, because it comes in with a big JST and a small 2-pin JST. The larger of the two is the lead that goes to the motor. The smaller of the two is for the power. You'd think it'd be around the other way, but it's not. And that's how I tracked it down, and then I got it up and running. I mean, this CSC, you can see it there flashing away. It's 4 to 8 volts. Just bring it into focus there. Yeah, it's 4 to 8 volts. So I've got 7.23 running on it. If you connect two batteries in series, it doesn't come out as exact. To get 7.4, I think you need 5, which in the 70s here used to be called HP7s by Evereadys. AA batteries. I'm pleased with it. The S1 batteries, as you can see them there, they were an eBay purchase. They're very good. 70C, which is plenty of power, more than enough for a boat this size. They're acting as ballast. For those who don't know, ballast keeps the boat, the hull, level in the water. You don't want anything, you don't want a list. A list is a lean to one side or the other. And for those out of you who don't know port from starboard, always remember the ship left port. So you've got port, starboard, left, right, forward and aft, bow and stern. But you can also, I used to work with this Geordie guy in the aircraft industry, and we used to make aircraft drop tanks, aircraft plastics, and he was ex-merchant navy, and he always used to point forward and aft, and it was something I picked up many years ago, back in 1989. So I'm talking about forward. I'm going to have to put some buoyancy in forward, just in case we don't have an accident. It stops your boat from sinking. It won't save your electrics, but it will save your boat, especially if you go on a murky pond. But I'm going to stay away from murky ponds. There's plenty of water ponds, all sorts around here, which are clear. They're not lakes, but man-made structures this can run on. I'm not going to run it yet. It's too cold out there. You don't want to be cold running your stuff in all that cold hands and everything else. Going back, I remember 70s, people flying in the winter, fuel, cold hands, all sorts. Not the best combination. You want a nice, warm, sunny day and a Sunday afternoon around 5 p.m. For your maiden voyage, you don't want too many people about because you're getting used to the boat. I'm very pleased with this electronic speed controller. It was not that much. It cost about £20 and it saves on weight and saves on room, especially in 1/72 scale. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and until next time.